Hello everyone, it's been a while, but today I want to add something to this beginner series, and which is the Solaris first video. And today I will explain the basic hierarchy of how the USD parts work, and it is like really important. It is the first step into the Solaris, and this is like really important. I will cover the paths and how name attributes on the primitives can affect that those paths. This is really important if you want to, because it was really important for me and it's still really important for me. It is one of the very necessary step in Solaris, because if you know this, then you know the very fundamentals of the Solaris at the very best level. Is this just one thing, but it is like really important. So I'm here and at the object level, and I'll create a geo container. I'll say Solaris, I'll say one, and inside this I'll just create a test geo, and let's say big head. So I have this, and first I'll just do a max size. I don't need to, but I'll just do it. So minimum, so the bottom part of this geometry will be touching the surface. Okay, and I will give this a null, and I will say out big head. Big head. Okay, we have this simple setup. Now, really important step. If I want to go in Solaris, I can go here, object, and this stage part. Now I'm in Solaris, and it was from my previous. Forget this. Just say SOP, not create, SOP import. So we have this. It's new, clean, and you can go into the Solaris layout format. And here we have our SOP import node. You can turn this off, and by hitting P, we have the parameters window. So when everything is clean, now this is our path. So we have two paths here. First, the path of your geometry, the path from where you will take the geometry from the SOP level and import it into the USD scene or Solaris here. And the second path is where the exact piece lies or exist in the Solaris part, in the Solaris level at the USD. So if I have two cube, then we need to assign those cubes the path, so it will be easy for someone to read it. Like where it just like how you manage your folders in Windows, like same we manage objects here. So let's import our first obj, and we have the Solaris first, and inside this we will select this out big head, and now we have our geometry imported into the Solaris. So here we have our geometry, and you see its path. It's at the very base, and it exists as simple mesh. So what we can do here, we can give this import path prefix. Like this is where it exists in the Solaris. So if I'm saying this slash, and this is the base, like it shows that we are the Solaris, this is the base of this. You can put it or not put it. You can say assets, and let's say geo. So you have your big head, your geometry in the assets as geo, as mesh 0. And if you say I want this inside like as big head, so you will create another. But what about this mesh name? Like if you go here at the object level and inside your geo container, you will see like we have this geometry, but what its name, like we don't know its name. We have this as geometry big head, but it here saying that um where am I? Wait a second. But here it says that we have mesh 0. So how would you change your mesh name here? What you can do, you can like go back to your geo container where your geometry is located, and you can put a name attribute at the primitive class, right? And you can say it like pig head 1. So when you go into the LOPs, and you will see your uh, geometry name changed from mesh oven to pig head oven. So here we have this, and what if I want to like create another geometry, like let's say delete this and I will say rubber toy. So we'll have a test geometry rubber toy, same match size, and we have the name, and I will say it rubber toy, right? And I will say it out rubber toy. If I go to LOPs, you will see we have we need to create SOP import. You can duplicate this, then you need to give this a path. Inside this, we have Solaris 1 and we have our rubber toy here. You will say same SOP import rubber toy. You can say similar assets we have. You can copy, you can paste, and you can say rubber toy. So you will see it's inside this, but let's put these two inside geos only, and you can merge them to look at both, or you can simply connect uh, as like this as a chain, and you will see those two connected together like in the same geo sublayer. But like I would say, I prefer to like merge them because I'm used to it, and like most of the artists do like this merge because it's something we do in the SOPs and you know other levels. So here we have this. Now these two are merged, and we are seeing this that like they are inside the geo subpath. So we know that their geometry location is in the object level, like SOPs, and here inside they exist inside assets, geo, and we have these two, pig head 1 and rubber toy. And where this pig head 1 and rubber toy is coming from, when you go to object level, here you see we have rubber toy and we have pig head 1. Now, really important thing here, I have given these two primitives by name, right? And by giving these two name on the primitive level, on the primitive class, so what's happening here? When you give this a name attribute, so when you export that geometry into the LOPs Solaris, that name attribute act as the name of the object, right? Just remember this, name of the object. So when I'm giving this some name attributes, you see pighead 01, and here I am having those same name attribute as the name of the mesh. One more really important thing here, what if I put these two on the same path, like with the same path? Let's say rubber toy, right? And let's say rubber toy. I'm having two same paths, but if I just like, wait a second, if I just I'm I'm disabling the name attribute, so we don't have any name. But when I go to the LOPs, and you will see they are on the same path, right? So you will see this. We are only seeing mesh 0. Remember, we don't have any name attribute. We only have our path, which is provided by here. You see they both have the same path. So what will happen? You see in geotab we are in the rubber toy. We are at the rubber toy sub level, and here it is also at the rubber toy sub level, right? So we are only seeing what? We are only seeing the SOP import this one. Why not this one? Because when you have the same path and those objects are merged together or are in a line, you will see the object that is connected to the board second. So now we are seeing the pig head, and if I just connect this and this, now we will see the rubber toy. So naming as the name attribute is really important. If you want to see, it has different benefits, but as a beginner, we don't need. I'm also a beginner, so I don't think I need, but maybe down the line, if I see its values, then I will definitely share it. But we know something here, right? And just toggle them on again. And when you go to the LOPs, you will see those two meshes as separate, and you are seeing both these meshes here, right? And one more thing I want to add here. When you go to the objects, you can assign the paths by the path attribute. So here we have two attributes. We have a name attribute and we have a path attribute. And also remember that these two works only if they are on the primitive class, right? So if you create this name and path attribute at the points class, right, on the points, then you won't be seeing the name changing from mesh to something you assign here, right? So remember this, it works primitive. Why primitive? I don't know, to be honest. Why not points? Because primitive is the fundamental of the mesh, like one primitive. So here a primitive is the face. So maybe that's why. Now we know something like this. What if I want to, let's say I want to give this a path. So path, this path and name attributes, I will just, okay, this path and name attribute expects two kind of data. First, a string, and second, a path itself. So the path starts with path starts with slash. You can assign path, assets, geo, or environments, something like this. So you will giving the path directly from here. So path attribute can also give the path if you are exporting the geometry to the Solaris. So here, for example, I have this test geometry, right? And I'm giving this name attribute, and this name attribute, I will say it path, or you can give this a name. We will use both. So let's duplicate it again, because it is really important and I want you to remember this. So we have a path attribute and we have a name attribute both at the primitive class, and just give this a null, and this null will be out. Let's say what it is path, right? So we will say path, and this will be null, and I will say this out, and I will say name. Right, so we have two similar things, but remember this one is name, and I will give this a path. Just follow me here, right? And I will just explain it, and you will like understand it like really easily. Assets, and let's say geo, and or you can say let's say toys, right? So we have a path here. So this name attribute says /assets/toys. We have this path, and in this path I will give this a name, rubber toy, right? So we know something here, right? Let's go to our Solaris. Just what you can do is you can say we have name and we have our path, right? So we have something like this. You're seeing something like this here. So what we are seeing, it's in geo, rubber toy and rubber toy. Let's see this and just remove this or remove this. So we don't have any path assigned and we are seeing this. So toys and rubber toys. Let's go at the object level. You see toys here is the path. So this geometry will be as toys in the assets because we have assigned the path. We have assigned the path, and this geometry here is the toys. This geometry is the toys. So by creating by creating these two attributes, path and name, you can give them both a name and a path directly from your SOP level. And here one important thing, if you say assets and let's say environment, what will happen here is this, wait a second, I want to give this here, let's say assets environment. You will see what happening here is it is overridden by that attribute, that path or name attribute. So you know now two things, name and path. You can give name to the geometry and path to the geometry directly from the SOP object level and SOP level, sorry. And when you go to the objects and inside this, let's conclude what I wanted to say today. You have you have name, you have attribute, and this works only if you give this name or a path attribute because they expect this path kind of data, right? This path data. So if I say this something like this path, right? This is just a random attribute, this path, and we have the path here. But if you go at the LOPs, you will see we don't have anything here. We have this mesh because what is happening here, because it is now we have a path because that attribute is not overriding this, because Houdini cannot read that attribute because it's just a random attribute. So now let's conclude this. Right? Sorry, I didn't make notes today. I was very busy, or say something you can say. But let's focus on this here. So let's conclude this. We have two attributes, first path and name attribute, right? Only works on primitive class, right? Path and name attribute works on primitive class, right? And something more I can say, you can give them name and path of your geo, right? And path goes with slash, you can say assets. This is just example, environments, etc., right? And your name or path, you can put a string there, and it can be anything with like anything if it is a string. And also the path from the attributes will override the path at Solaris, something like this. So this is the conclusion of this class. This is like really important. This was really important for me, and I don't know when the next video will come, but I'm trying, and I will try to create it like really soon. But I hope you learned something from this, and I will put this in the beginner series because this is just the beginner thing that we need to know. And that's it in this video. I hope it helps you, and in future I will be providing more videos. Until then, take care.